Hello, and thank you so much for joining us once again on the Get to Know Your ERB series right here on Financial Insights. My name is Chumoma Lungu, and I am your host for this particular episode. This week's episode is focused on corporate and consumer affairs, and I am joined by Mr. Muika Malindima, who is the Director, Corporate and Consumer Affairs right here at the ERB. So thank you so much for joining us on this particular episode.
I'm happy to be here and thank you for inviting me.
How does the ERB handle consumer complaints and ensure the protection of energy users' rights?
First off, it is important to state that the ERB, placed in the sector of energy, is here to support the interest of both the consumers who receive a service from the energy producers and also protect the interest of the energy producers themselves. Mm-hmm. So in protecting the interest of the consumers, the ERB has a lot of platforms that meet consumers in all parts of the country as a start. We want to ensure that we meet those that are able to read, those that are also that are not able to read. So we use all forms of platforms, including radio, television, and we have in-person meetings. In terms of how we do it, there are the various platforms, some of which I've just mentioned. But we're also aware that we are in the new era of technology. And so various platforms are therefore in place, such as our Facebook page. We have a Twitter, X now,
yes,
called X account. We are on LinkedIn. We are also on TikTok. And we also have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
And also this platform, we do speak to media organizations that push out information to the public.
Absolutely amazing. Director, you would agree with me that public awareness empowers consumers to make informed decisions. What initiatives does the department implement to educate the public about energy usage and also consumer responsibilities?
We do have various activities that we undertake as a department. Chief amongst them is, for instance, stakeholder meetings. Under stakeholder meetings, we have town hall meetings. We do go in all provinces around the country, in different parts of the country, time and again, on schedule, to bring out information on particular topical issues, on electricity, on petroleum, and so on. So we do have town hall meetings, but we also do schedule lined up programs on television and on radio countrywide to ensure that we also meet those that consume information through these platforms, the traditional media platforms. We do have a mobile office by the ERB. This office goes to bring awareness to the public, and we go into places such as markets, we go in schools, we go into the malls, we drive around, and it's not just concentrated in the capital city here in Lusaka. It is all over the country. We go in all provinces. We ensure that in each calendar year, we ensure that each province is attended to.
Thank you so much. Director, you've talked about the issue of community engagements. What role does the department play in raising awareness about the ERB's work and its impact on Zambia's energy sector?
As far as our mandate is to ensure that there is access of quality service,
yes,
of quality product by the consumer from the service provider or the dealers in the energy sector, or the players rather in the energy sector. First of all, there is engagement on the part of ERB with the players in the energy sector. We know that if anybody is going to come and invest in this country, they also have a responsibility to ensure that they bring to light what they want to produce or what they want to give to the public. So in our engagements, we do have KPIs, key performance indicators, with our licensees to ask their code licenses. These will be your petroleum oil marketing companies, for instance. It will be your electricity suppliers, all the players now increasingly on the renewable energy, in the renewable energy sector. So we do have KPIs, or if you like, parameters, which we ask them to achieve. We ensure that all these KPIs are met, but we make it very easy in that we provide the required information using the array of platforms that we have in place.
Director, feedback from consumers helps shape responsive policies. How does the ERB monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of its public engagement strategies?
I'm glad that you asked that question because it's an important, it's actually fundamental question. The ERB as an organization is heavy on stakeholder engagement. And so you are not going to work with stakeholders if you don't know what their feedback is to you. And we do that in a very scientific way. We do also, as we do in interaction.
Yes.
But let me bring your attention to the fact that we do what we call a consumer satisfaction survey. So in order for us to know that our services, our activities are reaching the intended consumers, we have, first of all, ERB is spread out. It's in, we have offices in different parts of the country. We have an office in Kitwe that takes care of Northwestern and Copperbelt province. Then we have an office in Livingstone that takes care of also Western province. The headquarters here in Lusaka does take care of Central province and Eastern province. Then we have an office in Kasama that takes care of the northern part of the country, Rwakula, Muchinga, and Northern province. So when we're doing when we want to get feedback from the public, we do it in person. When we do meetings in person, we do get the feedback from the public, whether they are satisfied with the service level. We also have service level agreements in between ourselves within the organization and also with our suppliers.
Yes.
So for us to know whether these are being achieved, we do actual surveys. So we have done just recently the consumer satisfaction survey, which is now in draft, and that is going to inform us to tell us about how the public have received the services that the ERB provides to the consumers and to the stakeholders out there. Because really, as we go by our tagline, we safeguard your interests. We want to ensure that their interests are really safeguarded.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Director, for also bringing out the issue of stakeholder engagement being a pillar for the Energy Regulation Board. With that being said, how does the department work with consumer advocacy groups to enhance user protection and also their rights?
Right. So besides having our offices in these other parts of the country, which I've mentioned, Kitwe, Kasama, Livingstone, and Lusaka, and then we do have also what we call consumer groups. Yeah, these consumer groups or the consumer protection groups are the ones that look into the interests of people in different parts of the country. The ERB is formed by Act of Parliament, and so most of the things that we do are also informed by an Act of Parliament. So it is important, therefore, that as we are meeting the needs of the public, first of all, we are informed by what they need. And so that is why for protection of consumers, the watch groups are there. And in extending the watch groups, there are associations that are created within the energy sector. You know, for instance, I'll talk about the association that deals with renewable energy. You know, there is an association that deals with petroleum, and there is an association that deals with electricity. So all these are part of our stakeholder universe with whom we engage to ensure that we are speaking to the needs of the consumers and the stakeholders in each of these subgroups. And so the ERB is very deliberate with that. And consumer protection, which is also another key aspect of our department, is therefore a very fundamental activity that we do on a daily basis. And to do it better and to do it well, we have to connect and collaborate with these groups, whether they are associations formed by themselves or whether ERB proactively forms them, like the consumer groups that are in different parts of the country.
Amazing. Thank you. Director, you have already alluded to the fact that the Energy Regulation Board is already engaging with stakeholders as of now. Let's talk about the future. What future plans does the ERB have to expand its consumer engagement and also education efforts to the general public out there?
For the future, we are continually engaging. What we would like to do is more of what we have done, but expand on it. So I did mention that we do go into schools, we do go into markets, but stakeholder engagement is something that is in constant flux. It's something that's continually changing because there's always new stakeholders coming on board.
Yes.
Right now, Zambia has been experiencing, for instance, this energy crisis, and out of which we've seen more groups being formed, those that are now concentrating on issues of renewable energy, for instance. So the ERB is forward-looking in that order because we are working with a community that has a lot of needs. And so our groupings, the groupings that we're going to interact with, are going to come from these same needs, areas of need. What we do as a department is to engage and bring them on board. So some of them actually come from unlikely places. They would be in the transport sector, but because they consume fuel, they would come and we need to take care of their interests. So ours, therefore, is to continually look out there and see which groups are in need and see how we can bring them on board so that they can receive the information that empowers them to work with the players in the energy sector.
Director, thank you so much for that insightful conversation, for this insightful conversation that you've had with us today. Any message that you have to the general public in relation to our topic of discussion for today?
So ours is to urge the public that the ERB is their institution, and if they have complaints, if they have any issues with any player in the energy sector, the ERB is there to safeguard the interest of the public. The ERB not only safeguard the interest of the consumers, but we also safeguard the interest of the players in the energy sector. And Zambia being an open market, the government has put out policies that provide Zambia as a very equitable environment for investment. And so the ERB plays its part to ensure that the investment environment is good. And so from our end as a consumer, ours is to call on the public to consider ERB as their organization. Let them come. They are very welcome. If they can't come to us physically, they can meet us online. They can go to our Facebook page. They can go to our Twitter account. They can also follow us on YouTube and on TikTok. But the ERB is situated in Lusaka, in Kitwe, in Kasama, and in Livingstone. If we are not able to meet us online, then you can go and walk into our offices. We are very much available for the consumers to bring any matter of energy and interest to the ERB, and they will surely get support from us.
Director, thank you so much. We really do appreciate you joining us for this particular interview for this week. Thank you, and we're wishing you all the very best in your department.
Thank you very much.
Dear viewers, thank you so much for continuously staying tuned to this particular episode. I was joined by the Director of Corporate and Consumer Affairs right here at ERB, who is none other than Mr. Muika Malindima. My name is Chimomelungu from Financial Insights. Remember, get to know.